COEGA Development Corporation and Stats SA has released data looking at investment activities and tenants in the Special Economic Zone. The COEGA Census report has revealed the data collected for the 2021 financial year. Given that it was still COVID, the SEZ has still done well by increasing employment by 1%. SABC News reporter Kim Daniels.
We are at the COEGA IDZ where Stats SA just handed over the census report for 2021, and here to explain the census report and tell us what it's all about is Tsepo Pekani from Stats SA. Sir, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Okay. So just for our viewers at home, just explain to us in layman's terms, what is the census report?
The census report is basically looking at the economic activity of the investors in the COEGA Special Industrial Zone. So we have been conducting this survey since 2015. So from there it has been happening every 3 years. So the first iteration was for 2015, followed by the one in 2018, and then now the recent report is for the result for 2021. Basically, we are looking at the income in the zone in terms of the items that we measure. We're looking at number of employees and its characteristics. We are looking also at the capital expenditure in terms of new assets, as well as the value of imports and exports from the zone.
And so if you take a look at this report, as you said, you've done it 3 times now in 2015, 2018, 2021. How did COEGA do in the year of 2021 in terms of maybe employment and investors that have come onto the SEZ?
Yes, I think one of the things that we should also look at is that the current results are based on the financial year that started from 1st July 2020 to 30 June 2021. So, which means any of the investors, their financial year should end in any period between that period I've mentioned. But what is also important is to also realize that that's a COVID period. So there were challenges during those periods. So in terms of the numbers of investors who were active during that period, there were 39 in 2018, but they reduced to 36 in 2021. But also with that in mind, if you look at the actual performance in terms of the zone, the income, even when the number of investors might have gone down, but the income has increased by an annualized increase of 9% to 14.3 billion, increasing from 11 billion. So you could see in terms of income, it's actually above inflation. So it's a good improvement in terms of that. Then when you look at the number of employees during this 2 period, those who are actually employed by the investors themselves also increased by an annualized percentage of 1%. So even if investors went down, the number of employees went up. But there is also employees who are working in the zone, but they are employed through labor brokers. So when you include them in the number employed by the tenants, the increase is actually bigger, moving from that 1% of only the tenants that are the employees who are employed by tenants. But when you include those employed by the labor brokers, the increase is now 3.5% annualized. So in terms of employment, in terms of income, there has actually been an improvement between the 2 periods.
And then lastly, sir, from my understanding, the Eastern Cape is the only province that does this kind of report. Is it something that Stats SA is looking to stretch the rest of the country?
Although I'm not qualified to say for that, I think that one probably I'll consult, and probably we can provide the proper answer.
Okay. So, Tsepo, thank you so much for joining us here at the SABC. Well, that was Tseko Pekani from Stats SA, just giving us some of the results of the census report for the year 2021 for the COEGA SEZ, that being the Special Economic Zone. It's also good to note that we are in the year 2023 now, and as he said, we had 36 investors here at COEGA in 2021, but this year, 2023, this number has spiked, and we have about 56 investors at COEGA. This generally means more employment for the people of the Eastern Cape, the people of COEGA and Nelson Mandela Bay. It means food on the table for our residents.